Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Claire Yosa. I am a mentor to solopreneurs and I help them to make a bigger difference in the world by clearing out those secret 3 a.m. fears that keep us stuck dreaming big but playing small. And today I want to share with you another one of the amazing keynotes from Chris Ducker's Youpreneur Summit from last week in London. And it's Joanna Penn of the Creative Pen. So today is all about how a book can grow your credibility, how you can use a book to reach more customers, more clients, to expand your audience, to help more people. I'm going to try and keep track with the comments. So once you're here in live with me, say hello. And if you've got any questions about publishing books, whether it's novels or nonfiction, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're watching the replay, click on the Dare to Dream Bigger link in the description. That will take you straight over to my private Facebook group. You might need to click join group button and we'll be carrying on the discussion there. So Joanna, one of the things I love about Joanna is she's real. Okay, so many people in the how to be an author world are very glossy and they're almost unreachable. You can't connect with them. Joanna is down to earth. She's absolutely lovely. She's practical, and what she shares is the real deal. A lot of what she shared with us, thank goodness, I was already doing. I've got a squirrel on the roof. I love being live. So I was already doing a lot of what she shared. I'm going to take you through it, and I can confirm that it works. So whether you've got that book sitting silently inside you, or it's screaming at you to get out, or it's already out there, there's stuff that will hopefully help you from the notes I took from Joanna Penn. So her big message is a book is a quick way to be seen as an expert in your field. I can certainly vouch for that. So I regularly fill my meditation and mindfulness weekend workshops because of my books, 52 Mindful Moments and the 28-Day Meditation Challenge. I'm a certified meditation and yoga teacher as well as the other stuff I do. I sell those books locally in chiropractors, in gift shops, in local bookstores. That mean that people who are within an hour's drive of me can easily find the books. Then when they discover I'm local, it's almost a no-brainer for them to come and work face-to-face so I can help them more deeply. So this is something that really works. With writing a book, so here's one mistake that Joanna started us all off with that most of us make, is we write the book we want to write instead of the book that somebody wants to read. Okay, and we do it in sales too. We sell what somebody needs rather than what they want. So here's the thing, you treat Amazon like a search engine. If you've got a topic you're thinking about for your book, go and search on Amazon. In the search bar, the predictive text will tell you what people are looking for. If people are not looking for your topic, it's going to be hard to sell unless you've got a very strong platform of your own. Now, you might write the book they want to write and give them what they need within that book. But you've really got to think, what kind of solutions are people already looking for? Because Amazon is like a search engine. Your local bookshop is like a search engine. People don't go in saying, hey, give me a book on the solution, because they've not imagined the solution yet. They say, give me a book on how to fix this problem. Give me a novel about such and such. I'd like a writer who writes in this way. Now, hey, I am honored. I have got Chris Ducker, hello, on this live stream. Chris, you join in because he has just published a new book that comes out next year, The Rise of the Youpreneur. I was reading it in the bath yesterday. It's brilliant. Make sure you're on his pre-order list. Chris, if you want to jump in at any stage with extra stuff from what Joanna shared, please feel free. Your author journey is really important as well for people to understand about. So that's the first tip, is don't write the book you want to write the book they want to read. The next tip is publish it in multiple formats, okay? Joanna talked about how many countries in the world are reading English language books alone. We don't need to think so much about translation anymore. Don't just publish a hardback, don't just publish a paperback. Use print on demand to reach places you couldn't otherwise reach. Print it on Kindle, print it on EPUB, print it on Kobo. If you've got a traditional publisher, Be careful before you sign away worldwide English language rights. Joanna found that printing on Kobo gave her access to, I think it was 84 countries where they buy English language books. So in addition to her saying print in all formats, I would say make sure it's available internationally. Okay, I've got a really big following for my business book in India. I don't know how, I don't know why, I'm very grateful. But if I hadn't made my book available in both its beautiful hardback and paperback print on demand, so it can go worldwide, and Kindle, it wouldn't be reaching India. I can't afford to ship it to India. So use all formats. She suggests create space for print on demand, and also Ingram Spark in the UK, which also does hardbacks. They can get you distribution into physical world bookstores. So it's worth really looking at all of your options. Most people, when they're self-publishing, just go for Kindle. They might go for a bit of Amazon print on demand. Really look at how else you could help people find your brilliant book. So next one, audiobooks are a huge boom. One of the things that's coming early next year is the audiobook version for Dare to Dream Bigger. I've had so many people ask me for it, and it's coming your way because people listen to them now in the kitchen when they're driving, on the train during their commute, in the background while they're doing other things. For me, I listen to novels on audiobooks because I do enough personal development the rest of the time. That's my switch off time, and I love them. Okay, so look at getting your audiobook done as well. If you've got a particular novel that's a great story, don't be afraid to joint venture with somebody who can read it for you, to make it sound amazing, to reach a whole new audience. Yep, Bethany's saying, I love an audiobook. So many of us love audiobooks. It's another way to help you reach a bigger audience, to help you make a bigger difference, and to help you to connect with new super fans. The next one she suggested, write a series. Okay, and if I had my time again with Dare to Dream Bigger, I would probably split it into 7 books. It's a real meaty tome. It takes you through the inside work that we need to do to get out of our own way so that entrepreneurial fear becomes a thing of the past, and you can then make those business strategies really work. There is so much else I wanted to include. So it is actually going to become a series next year. There are going to be smaller books on how to find the time to grow your business, deep diving on some of the core topics I covered. But her suggestion is write a series. Why? Because when somebody's bought into book 1 in a series, particularly for fiction, what happens when they get to the end of book 1? They want book 2. They want book 3. So my new novel, my first novel, went to the printer on Friday, which has been really scary because there was just so much to do with working with the editor and proofreading and typesetting and getting the cover fixed. And it's done. And it comes out in December. And it's the first book of a series called The Danucci Deception. And they're discrete books. You can read them standalone, but they're part of a series. And I've already drafted all 5 books in the series before I publish book 1 to make sure I've got continuity in there. Because I knew the story was bigger than I could tell in 1 book. And I really hope that people will love it and come back for books 2 to 5. So how could you take your book idea and potentially turn it into a series? This ties into the next point that Joanna made, was go short and go long. Okay, you don't have to, these days with print on demand and Kindle and audiobooks, you don't have to have everything being a full 95,000 word novel. You can have a series of short stories. You can have a 30,000 word novella. You can be creative, go short if that fits what you want to write about. So for example, my upcoming book on time management for entrepreneurs is going to be a short one. Yeah, because I don't want to waste their time. It's going to be more linking them to videos they can get in the reader section. Whereas Dare to Dream Bigger takes them through an entire journey on business growth. So that had to be longer. What could you do with your book to make it part of a series, to make some of the bits long, to make some of the bits short? How could you look at short stories instead if writing a full novel is giving you writer's block? How could you get creative about this? There's never been more freedom and opportunity in the publishing world than there is now. So how she got on the bestseller list, okay? So Joanna really shared her gems with us on this. She used a very specific strategy. She picked a quiet time of the year. Okay, so you don't aim for the bestseller list for fiction in December at Christmas. You don't aim for the bestseller list for non-fiction self-help in January, because that's when everybody is pushing it, everybody is buying it. She picked a quiet time of year. She picked August, and she hit the USA Today bestseller list by selling 8,000 books in a week. Now that sounds really hard. Joanna's worked for a very long time to build up her platform, but she aimed at that launch period, at that sales period. She made an offer that people couldn't resist. She emailed it to her subscribers. She used advertising through things like Facebook ads. You can work with joint venture partners to get the news out there. If hitting the bestseller list is something that's important to you, you can do it, and go over to Joanna's website, which I believe is thecreativepenn.com, Penn. I will confirm that in the comments, because she's got all sorts of practical free resources to help you with your book marketing if that's something you want to do. So the next one is really make the most of your intellectual property. I've said already, think global. Yeah, don't just think who's going to buy it in my country. Don't even be restricted by which language people read. You'll be amazed how easy it is for people to translate things. I've already got somebody, for example, on You Take Yourself With You, which is my novel that's not even published, asking about the Spanish translation rights. Dare to Dream Bigger, we're in the process of working with somebody on getting it translated into Chinese, into Mandarin for an audiobook. I didn't ask for any of this. People read the book, they loved it, they're approaching me. I run my own publishing company. It gives me control of my IP. Yeah. So look at your book. What else could it become? If it's nonfiction, could it become a course? Could it become a workshop? Could it become a series of podcasts? How else can you repurpose the content in your book? Because it's there to make a difference, yeah? And you're publishing it because you know your stuff, and you know that it's going to magnetize those who are hungry, lying awake at night for you to help them. How else can you use your intellectual property to help them, to support the book? So the book is a stepping stone into working with you at a more value add level, so you can make a bigger difference. With a novel, could you do book readings? Could you do the audio book? How else could you use that story? Could you have a podcast where you read sections of it, where you talk about what happened, you know, the background behind the novel? So for example, with my novel, You Take Yourself With You, the two main characters, Sophie and Christoph, were inspired by a couple that was sitting in front of me in an open air concert last summer. The way they were behaving was so strange, I couldn't help but spend a lot of the concert wondering what was going on for them in their lives. What was it that meant they were doing what they were doing? What had to be true for them? What might have happened just before the concert, and before that, and before that? And now it's a series of 5 novels. So you can start sharing stories behind your book. Yeah. How else can you use your intellectual property? And if you're signing a contract with a publisher, make sure you're not giving it all away under their blanket terms and conditions. If you're not sure, get yourself an agent, get yourself some legal advice on the contract. And finally, this is one of the things I love the most about writing. So I love hanging out with people, but I really love being at home with my family too. I am gregarious, but I'm a massive introvert. Joanna feels the same. She's great with people. It was wonderful to connect with her after the event, after her speech last week. But as an introvert, writing books is one of the best ways to earn your living, make a difference in the world, to entertain, to educate, to inspire, sitting behind your laptop in peace and quiet at home. So I'm curious, I'd love to hear from you via the comments and over at the Dare to Dream Bigger Facebook group. Which book is it that your heart is secretly calling you to write? What's getting in your way? Want to know how? I can't write the book because, I haven't written the book because, list the 7 things that come to mind after that, and those are your excuses and limiting beliefs, and we can deal with them. And if you've already got the book, how could you use some of the tips here from Joanna Penn to help it reach an even wider audience? Let's get your book written in 2018. Life is too short. And if you've got a brilliant idea, it's time to get fears, confusion, I don't know how to do it, all out of the way, so that next year can be the year that your book inspires, entertains, and changes lives. I hope you found that useful. A huge thank you to Joanna Penn for sharing her journey and her top tips with us on the Youpreneur Summit stage. I am going to be back tomorrow with a very, very special one, all about how to vlog like a boss. Thank you, and I will see you hopefully on tomorrow's live stream, same time, same place.